Looks like, I think that's Keselowski who's trying to get underneath him. Stenhouse Jr. tried to get off him, tried to stay off of him. Mikey spun himself around. No harm, no foul, though. I don't see a lot of damage. Staying right on the inside of him. Round he goes.
He was in 6th place.
And he can't be too happy about getting punted. You remember what happened on pit road when he took those 2 tires? He pulls right out in front. Watch Joey Logano has to just get on the brakes.
Actually lock the brakes up.
Yeah.
This was Logano's reaction on pit road to what happened there. Yep.
What the heck?
So then you see the gap on the restart, spun his tires a little bit. Chastain was waiting until he got past the start-finish line, goes to the bottom, get off in the corner. Chastain got on the rumble strips just a little bit. I think McDowell kind of squeezed him. That's just a product of being a sitting duck. On 2 tires, didn't get the jump off the restart, protecting, getting on the inside, and gets taken out.
Well, now still, was that contact avoidable?
It was avoidable, but I think
Ross wasn't avoided.
I think Ross Chastain thought he was there and just left it there.
Yeah, and here's the way I look at this. This is like a drag race, okay? You got to have 2 new rear tires on the rear because you're going through the gearbox. And if you only have 1 new right rear, the left rear is going to slip. So you
wrong in the situation. Chastain a little bit aggressive on the restart, and then here's where we are right now. You see Carson Hocevar has that issue. They've obviously brought that car down pit road. You see that it looks like the right front tire is flat, probably just from dragging that around on the racetrack. Hopefully they can get him fixed, Shannon. Hit the wall.
7th, just like Carson Hocevar. I saw the smoke in those guys' screen there, and man, sure enough, Reddick.
Now this caution is a break for William Byron. On the team radio, they had a concern that he might have a right front tire rub for the 24.
Maybe working his way through some of that lap traffic. I don't see anything.
Okay, here he comes down. Poof, exact same thing as Hocevar. I'm going to tell you that's a brake rotor as well.
Just a violent explosion right there. And look at him hugging that wall.
Look at the shrapnel coming out from behind there.
That's so smart of those guys to hug that wall and not go up into it at an angle.
Takes me back to Pocono a long time ago. Jimmy Johnson had the same thing happen. Spun down below. Man, it was the worst wreck I think I've ever seen. It was right in my lap.
Jamie?
Well, you see the 45 of Tyler Reddick. They just told him to break.
Wow. A hit at both ends and the whole left side. He was 24th, and he was also on the 2-tire strategy, we're being told. Drops the window net. Now that's what happens when something happens at the bottom of the racetrack. Look at those skid marks and the heavy impact into the safer barrier.
We'll have to see what happens here, but this is why when you break a brake rotor, you turn to that outside wall like you saw the other 2 do. I'm not saying it was a rotor, but we need to look at the replay.
Now the AMR safety team quickly on the scene. He dropped the window net right away. That's the signal to them that he's okay.
Now the left rear tire was blown out.
Yeah, he just spun around, spun down to the low side, hard into the wall with the driver's side of the race car. If you saw the left tire down, the way that car turned and spun out way early into the corner like that.
See all the rubber off the left rear? I don't know that there's I don't know that that's it, but they're definitely a flat left rear.
Well, that's back around that, first cars on 4 tires.
Bell was running in 11th place.
Oh, loose on the bottom was Cindric, and he got into Bell, and around Bell went.
Got loose once, caught it, got loose twice, and bounced off of him hard enough it turned him around. That was ahead of that 4-tire conversation, but just desperation setting in, right?
But whipping right around him when this happens is Martin Truex, who gained some ground.
There's the contact from Cindric.
Yeah, I can't really see much there, but definitely I saw it hit once, hit twice, and turned him around. That's
intensity, dive bombs. That's all a part of the end of these races.
And no surprise, that racing from mid-pack on back was so intense. Look at the 3 wide top of your screen and follow that down to turn 1.
See Austin Dillon on your inside.
Does he get
clipped? Right's reared. He got clipped to the right rear. Turned him right up into Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Desperation setting in. 3 wide. You're seeing it all over the place, all the way through the pack.
And you said it. Darn for Ricky. I mean,
Yeah.
it's another great run for him, and
They
it's
were all,
over.
They were all battling for 12th place.
You see, they got a run on him on the inside.
And he had plenty of room to the right, just trying to squeeze in there.
That's too bad.
William Byron.
That's a DNF for him. Wall's in a wall. Turns 1 and 2.
Wallace.
Could this possibly be another brake rotor issue?
Wallace was 11th. He was in that battle right behind Byron there at the moment, and this will be the 11th caution flag. And it comes with just 5 laps to go.
His teammate had issues earlier. Team car. See if that's the case here for Bubba. You can just see the disappointment on Randall Burnett's face right there, how close they were to taking the checker flag.
Even Cliff Daniels, he's like, after the day we've had, I would so take a second place. Let's see what happens here. It looks like the same thing, guys. See it start wobbling. See the brake rotor pieces and parts flying across the racetrack. Same exact thing. He learned his lesson. He watched all of those replays. Turned that